Hey guys, so welcome to another episode of I don't know what this channel is starting to become. I don't know. Let's just talk. So I am scratching my leg because my legs are very dry. Okay. So this episode is going to be on life is a bunch of yins and yangs. What does that mean? It means there's always an upside and a downside to everything. And I think when you're my age and there's so many options and opportunities available for the young, ambitious crowd, um, it's hard because you're overwhelmed with possibilities and opportunities. And as I've kind of gotten older, you realize that there is no such thing as perfection, whether it be a job or a relationship, a friendship, even a place to live. There is no such thing as perfection. And you think there is, but not really. Okay? So, in terms of, personality traits, when I was younger, I used to think like, people are just like a good person or just like better than other people. And there is no such thing as someone being better than someone else. It kind of runs a gamut. There's a kind of a level of it. So, people who are, I don't know, like let's say someone who's very good looking, you know, that is a plus, but there's this consequence to that, which means they probably spend all their time being vain and, are someone who makes YouTube videos teaching other people how to put on makeup and hoards makeup and all that. There's like sides to it that you don't see. Like let's say a guy has a six pack. Well, yeah, that's great. He has a six pack, but at the same time, he might prioritize the gym over you. And it's kind of like, what do you want? Like, how important is something to you that you will accept it or not accept it? Someone who is successful, like has a lot of money, like that's great, right? But it takes sacrifice to be successful. It takes a lot of work. And in order to be successful, you might not have a personal life. You might not have people you're close with or whatever. And that's just the other side of it. It is what it is. It's life. You can't have it all, really. And I'm so sick of people being like, yeah, you can have it all, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you try to have it all, you're not going to be happy because you're so, like, obsessed with the image of having all that. You don't focus on what's most important to you, which is your inner peace and inner happiness. And that should be prioritized, I think, over all material, all personality, all whatever. Like in my life, like my YouTube channel is a really big deal to me, and it is pretty big priority. And because of that, um, you know, when I decide to move to a place, there has to be ample space for me to have all my makeup, for me to have all my products and tools, for me to be able to film outfits and stuff, like to be able to have these kind of equipment in the background. And I can't just live in any old place, which means my rent will go up. Because I need ample space to do that. There's a lot of things that I think people don't see behind the surface or beneath the surface of things. Um, you know, Doing a startup has made my life really uncertain. It has, people think it's all glamorous and things like that, but there is a lot of stressful times. And one of my really good friends said to me the other day, she's like, Daisy, you can't just keep talking about your startup all the time. You have to realize that other people have other lives than just you and your startup. And it's just like, it was like kind of like a slap in the face at the moment, but it makes sense. Like, yeah, I have to understand that people have other things going for them than me and my startup, as narcissistic as that sounds. And because I'm so infatuated and because I'm so passionate, like people always say, like, I want someone who's passionate, or I love passionate people. There's a cost to being passionate, which means you're so fucking obsessed about it that you can't really talk or relate to anybody about anything else because you're just so into it. And I understand balance, and I understand, having, work-life balance and all that. But to a degree, to be successful, sometimes you have to put in all that time because you're a competitor or because other people are, and if you're not, you're going to fall off the cliff. And, you know, it's also like being competitive in a long-term state. Like, you know, yeah, obviously if you pull like 10 all-nighters this month, you're going to get more done today or this month, but in the long run, you're not going to be sustainable and you're going to burn out. Like, there's two sides to it. Two sides to everything, you know. And what I realized is kind of there's sides to everything. There's good and bad things about every single person. No one person is better than the other. No one job is completely better than the other. No one place to live is better than the other. It just depends what you value and what you can stand or not stand, you know. And sometimes those change. Priorities change, people change, and that will change kind of your circumstances and what you're looking for in whatever it is, you know. But realizing that, I think, has really helped me in not becoming so stressed out about all these options that are given to me. It kind of makes me realize, like, you know, in this circumstance, in this situation, are these factors important to me in my life right now? And they can be important to me. And, you know, it could change. You know, 5, 10 years from now, doesn't have to be important to me, but it's important to me right now. So, you know, realizing that everything has to be so permanent, and it can go on a scale. But again, I still do believe, and I will always believe, that your happiness and the way you feel about yourself is the most important thing in the world, because if you don't have that sense of confidence and self-worth, you cannot achieve anything in life. You cannot do anything. You're going to be messed up. And I know some people who are messed up, and it's just a sad life, because whatever they do, they just can't get over that, like, part of themselves, because they feel like they're not good enough. So always prioritize making yourself feel good or be a better person, whether that's, you know, going to church or practicing yoga or doing some kind of happiness exercises, whatever it is. Make sure that you are confident and love yourself for who you are, because that is the hardest thing, really. It is. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.